Hi students, good morning to you all. Hope you all are doing good. Hearty welcome to all of you for today's session. Come, let's learn English. This is your English teacher Jyotimol. Okay, as we know, we have been discussing a poem from our first flight textbook. The name of our poem is The Ball Poem, written by John Berryman. Here, the poet John Berryman beautifully describing a boy who has lost his ball. He gave a lesson that is full of wisdom through the loss of everyone must learn to bear the pain associated with loss. To us, the loss of a ball is of minor consequence, and our reaction to it is to say, "Oh, there are other balls." But to a little boy, that's not the case. A dime is worthless. It cannot buy back our love, nor replace the things that we love, the things that really matter. Here, the lost ball stands for the general loss of a human being. Here, the lost ball stands for the general loss of a human being. Now, let's read the poem as a whole. What is the boy now who has lost his ball? What is he to do? I saw it go, merrily bouncing down the street and then merrily over there it's in the water. No use to say, "Oh, there are other balls." An ultimate shaking grief fixes the boy. As he stands rigid, trembling, staring down all his young days into the harbor. Where his ball went, I would not intrude on him. A dime, another ball is worthless. Now he senses first responsibility in a world of possessions. People will take balls, balls will be lost always. The little boy, and no one buys a ball back. Money is external. He is learning well behind his desperate eyes the epistemology of loss, how to stand up, knowing what every man must one day know, and most know many days how to stand up. Okay, children, let's see the last few lines. He senses first responsibility in a world of possessions. People will take balls, balls will be lost always, little boy, and no one buys a ball back. Money is external. He senses first responsibility. What responsibility is referred to be here, children? The responsibility referred to here is how to stand up or bear the loss through self-understanding, and how to console oneself on his own, as the boy who lost his ball was trying to do. Did you get the term, children? Responsibility. He senses first responsibility. What was his responsibility? So the responsibility referred to here is how to stand up or bear the loss through self-understanding, or how to console oneself on his own, as the boy who lost his ball was trying to do. So here in these lines, the poet tells that the boy, he is facing a transformation. What's the transformation, children? He realized that his ball was lost. So he wanted to stand up, or he wanted to bear the loss through self-understanding. One more thing, money is external. The poet says, money is external. What do you mean by that, children? Money. It cannot bring inner peace to us. So in these lines, the ball is a symbol of man's possession. And the poet makes sure that once it is lost, it cannot be replaced. So when we go deeper to these lines, we realize that the poet says, nothing we will own will be ours forever. Nothing we own will be ours forever. Others will taken away all that is ours. No one will buy another ball for the child. Have you seen that sentence, children? The little boy, no one buys a ball back. So here the poet says that nothing we own will be ours forever. Others will taken away all that is ours, and no one will buy another ball, or no one will replace, or it cannot bring anything back, because once it is lost, it cannot be replaced. I hope you understood this stanza. Okay, let's move to the last stanza. He is learning well behind his desperate eyes. The epistemology of laws. How to stand up, knowing what every man must one day know, and most know many days how to stand up. So here the poet says that the boy's eyes are filled with sadness. Have you seen the first line, children? Well behind his desperate eyes. So from this we understood that the boy, his eyes are filled with sadness. He is extremely disappointed. But this grief or sadness has taught him a lesson. This grief or sadness has taught him a lesson. Which is that lesson, children? The epistemology of laws. Children, it's a new word for you. Its explanation is given in your textbook. Come to page number 47. Epistemology of laws means understanding the nature of laws. What it means to lose something. Epistemology, the Greek word epistem means knowledge. It comes from a word meaning to understand. It comes from a word meaning to understand or to know. So we can say epistemology is the study of nature of knowledge itself. It's a study of nature of knowledge itself. So let's move to the explanation, children. So here the boy is learning a lesson. What was the lesson, children? The boy is learning how to stand up. The boy is learning how to stand up. The boy is learning how to bear the laws through self-understanding. So, epistemology of laws means it's the study of the nature of knowledge itself. So, epistemology is the study of the nature of knowledge itself. Epistemology of laws means understanding the nature of laws. That means it means to lose something. So here the boy is learning how to stand up. So here the poet says something. The boy is learning about the laws of things. Something that was once considered precious for him has gone away from him. Something that was once considered precious for him. Here the precious thing is the ball. So something that was once considered precious for him has gone away from him. So he is learning to accept the laws and then to move on. He is learning to stand up against, or he is learning to bear the circumstance, or he is learning to stand up against the sense of loss. He is trying to learn the real truth of life. What's the truth, children? The truth that everyone has to learn in his or her life. The truth of standing up against the odd miseries of life that everyone has to face. The odd miseries of life that everyone has to face once in our life. So that is what is the poem, children. Now let's move on to the literary devices used in the poem. So let's see what all literary devices are used in the poem. So the first one is anaphora. Do you remember anaphora in your last class? Not a last class, in your 9th class, I think I have given you the definition and explanation also. Okay, children, so no problem. Once again, I will give you the definition. Anaphora. When a word is repeated at the start. When a word is repeated at the start or beginning of 2 or more consecutive lines, it's the device of anaphora. Have you seen this stanza, children? The first 4 lines. Here we can see an example for 2 examples are there for anaphora. What is the boy now who has lost his ball? What is it to do? I saw it go. See, the first word, what. The word what is repeated in 2 consecutive lines. One more example. Merrily bouncing down the street. And then merrily over there. It's in the water. Again, merrily, the word merrily is repeated at the beginning of 2 consecutive lines. Okay, children, that's the device of anaphora. Then the second one is assonance. Assonance means a repetition of vowel sounds. The first line, what is the boy now who has lost his ball? It's an example for assonance. What do you mean by assonance? repetition of vowel sound. So here in this line we can see the sound O is repeated. Boy, now, who, lost. The vowel sound O is repeated. One more example is there, children. He is learning well behind his desperate eyes. The last stanza, first line. He is learning well behind his desperate eyes. Which sound is repeated there? The sound E is repeated there. He, learning, well, behind, desperate, eyes. So, this is an example for assonance, repetition of vowel sounds. Then the next one, the third one is alliteration. I'll give you the explanation, children. Alliteration is a term to describe a literary device in which a series of words begin with the same consonant sound. A series of words begin with the same consonant sound. See the last line. No one buys a ball bag. And no one buys a ball bag. The sound B is repeated. The sound B is repeated. Buys, ball, bag. Hence it is an example for alliteration. Alliteration means a term, or alliteration is a term to describe a literary device in which a series of words begin with the same consonant sound. Assonance means repetition of vowel sounds. Alliteration means repetition of consonant sound. So, example, no one buys a ball bag. Buys, ball, bag. The sound B is repeated. And the last literary device used in the poem is metaphor. You know what is metaphor? Metaphor is an indirect comparison of ideas or things without the use of words like a, like, or us. Metaphor is an indirect comparison of ideas or things without the use of words like a, like, or us. Example, see the 8th line of a poem, children. All his young days into the harbor. The 8th line of a poem, the ball poem, it's an example for metaphor. All his young days into the harbor. So here the poet compares the boy's young days to the lost ball. Here the poet compares the boy's young days to the lost ball. So that's all about the literary devices used in the poem. Then what about the rhyme scheme, children? There is no rhyme scheme followed in the poem. There is no rhyme scheme followed in the poem. So you have to read the lesson carefully, read the poem carefully for at least 4 times. Okay. So children, I am very happy to see your answer paper, children. Almost all of you have written well, but 2 answer papers are missing, children. Anjana Raj and Rohan Chase John. You should contact me as early as possible because I didn't get your answer paper. Then one more thing, children, the same guys, Ananda Krishnan, Aaron Bensi, Albin Abi, Anjana Raj, Arjun Shivan, Christy Alexander, Johan, Jaswin Sam, Kailas, Karthik, Meenakshi, Nidin G. Nair, Prakash, Rohan Jays, Rohit Mohan. Children, you didn't submit the last day's notes. No assignment was there. Only a few pages. I think 2 pages are there to write in your notebook. You didn't submit the notes till the date. So you have to send it as early as possible. Please cooperate with me, children. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.